What's the story? What's your story?
My story, shit. Yeah. I just got out of jail for just beat a body into attempts. Like, December? I just got out, started rapping shit. I got the crazy story from the drop. Got the War With Us and got Problems out.
6 arrests were documented before he turned 25. The first one came when he was 16 years old on an armed robbery charge, looking at up to 45 years in prison. The last one came in 2019 in Atlanta. Criminal intent to commit murder, robbery, felon in possession of a firearm. In between those two, a gun charge at 18, boot camp at 18, a 3-year prison sentence in 2013, and then the big one was a first-degree murder charge in 2014 that locked him inside Cook County Jail for 3 years and 4 months before he ever said a word on a record. 3 years in the county, waiting. And that's not even counting the 30-plus additional documented bookings that fan records and investigative reports have traced across his lifetime. 30-plus bookings by the age of 26. But the arrests? That's just where the paperwork begins. Because here's what the government actually put on paper about this man. The Chicago Police Department in official documented case files has named King Von as the alleged gunman in the murders of at least 3 people. 3 separate CPD case files, his government name, Davon Daquan Bennett, as the offender. And those are just the ones the CPD officially documented. When you add what the FBI declassified in January 2023 files, showing that a confidential informant told investigators Von placed a $100,000 bounty on a rival rapper's head, and when you add the federal court testimony where a victim's own brother took the stand and told a jury he watched King Von stand over his 17-year-old sister and empty a clip into her body, and when you add the investigative record that allegedly connects Von to bodies going all the way back to when he was 17 years old, we are talking about allegations across more than 10 separate killings. 10. Before the age of 26. A 17-year-old girl was shot 9 times. A college student was killed in his work uniform at a birthday party. A man lured to an alley 2 days before his bus ticket out of Chicago. A rival rapper ambushed on a Gold Coast shopping strip in broad daylight. And more, all of it allegedly tied back to one man, one block, and one war that started before Von was even in high school. But here's what makes this story different from every other Chicago street story you've heard. King Von did not build this life from scratch, he inherited it. Because before Davon Bennett ever touched a gun, before O-Block ever put his name on a wall, before he spent a single night in Cook County Jail, his father, Walter "Silk" Bennett, was already one of the most feared and respected gangsters on the south side of Chicago, already running the Ada Park drug operation, already in and out of prison so many times that his own son didn't even meet him until he was 8 years old, already carrying the kind of street legend status that men whisper about in jail cells for decades. And Silk died the same way his son would die 15 years later, shot by an enemy, too young to grow old. When Von was 11 years old, his father was taken out by a sniper. And from that moment, Davon Bennett began building himself into the next version of Silk. Same gang, same code, same streets, same ending. This video is going to walk you through every single piece of it. The father's criminal empire, every arrest Von ever caught, every alleged murder, the motive behind each one, and the war that produced all of it. Minute by minute, name by name, fact by fact. This is the full criminal history of King Von. And I promise you, by the time this is over, you will understand this story in a way you never have before. Let's get into it. Before we get into Von's story, you need to understand the war, because none of the alleged killings make sense without it. None of the motives land without knowing what was happening on those blocks. You can't understand the body count without understanding the scoreboard. Here's the foundation. The Black Disciples and the Gangster Disciples, 2 of Chicago's most powerful street gangs, both traced their roots back to the same organization. In the 1960s, a man named David Barksdale formed the Devil's Disciples on Chicago's South Side. By 1966, it became the Black Disciples. By the 1970s, internal power struggles split the organization. The Black Disciples, led by Barksdale, and the Gangster Disciples, led by Larry Hoover, became sworn enemies, and that war has never stopped. Fast forward to the 2000s. Leadership on both sides gets taken down by law enforcement. Federal raids destroy the organizational structure, and now you've got thousands of young men in Chicago, Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples, with profound generational hatred for each other, no leadership to control the pace of violence, no structure, and unlimited access to guns flooding in from states like Mississippi with almost no gun restrictions. O-Block, King Von's block, is Black Disciples territory. Specifically, it's a faction called WIIC City, located at 64th and Martin Luther King Drive in Parkway Gardens. Right next door, literally 1 block away, is the STL/EBT faction of the Gangster Disciples. STL stands for St. Lawrence. EBT stands for E-Block Territory. 2 GD sets that joined forces specifically to go to war against O-Block and their ally. These two factions could see each other from their windows, and the war between them is what produced every single one of King Von's alleged murders. Let me take you through how it started, because the first shot that truly ignited everything was fired not by Von, not by the men he allegedly killed, but by a woman, the same woman he allegedly killed years later. January 12, 2011. A 15-year-old boy named Shondale Gregory, street name Tuka, is shot and killed while waiting at a bus stop on 63rd Street. He's a member of the STL/EBT faction. He's standing at the bus stop when 2 shooters jump out of a car. They hit him multiple times. He collapses near the bus stop. He's 15 years old. Tuka's murder is attributed to Odie Perry, a Black Disciples member from WIIC City, and a second shooter. For STL/EBT, this is a declaration of war. They rename their territory Tukaville in Tuka's honor, and they vow revenge. August 10th, 2011. 7 months later, Odie Perry is riding his bicycle northbound on Martin Luther King Drive, right on his own block, when a gunman steps out from near a bus stop and opens fire. Odie is hit and falls from his bicycle. The shooter approaches and fires again. Odie Perry dies from his wounds. He is 20 years old. Odie's murder is attributed to Gakira, K.I. Barnes, Boss Trell, and FBG Buddha, all STL/EBT members. K.I., a 17-year-old girl at the time, is named as one of the shooters. WIIC City renames itself O-Block in O.D. Perry's honor, and now the war has 2 sacred martyrs on opposite sides, Tuka for STL, O.D. for O-Block, and the score is about to get bloody. This is the world King Von stepped into when he picked up a gun. The timing matters. Von's first formal arrest for armed robbery was January 2011, the same month Tuka was killed. He is 16 years old and already moving in the same orbit as men who are actively killing each other. By the time he gets out of juvenile detention and is back on the streets, OD is dead, the block is renamed, and the war is fully locked in. Every alleged murder that follows, every name on Von's list, is connected, directly or indirectly, to this war. Retaliations for retaliations. Score for score. The war didn't end. It just kept producing victims. Now let's get into each one. But first, before any of the murders, we need to talk about where this mentality came from. Because King Von didn't invent his lifestyle. He inherited it. His father, Walter E. Bennett, street name Silk, was born October 28, 1974, and grew up in the Otta Park neighborhood on Chicago's South Side, a Black Disciples-affiliated area. By the time Silk was a young man, he was already one of the most respected and feared figures in that neighborhood. Silk was a drug dealer. By Otta Park standards, people who knew him described him as the wealthiest man in the area during his peak, running a drug operation that built him a reputation for discipline, for loyalty, and for the kind of presence that made people give way when he walked into a room. He was also constantly in and out of prison. His incarcerations were so frequent and so long that his son Davon, born August 9, 1994, barely knew the man. In fact, Von didn't even meet his father for the first time until he was 8 years old. They only knew each other for about 3 years before the streets took Silk away for good. On July 31, 2005, when Davon Bennett was just 11 years old, Walter Silk Bennett was shot. He was allegedly hit by a sniper. Accounts differ on exactly where, with some saying outside a skating rink that was a known hotspot, others suggesting it was connected to a drug deal gone wrong. What every account agrees on, he survived the initial shot but died 2 days later on the operating table. Davon was 11. He lost his father, a man he'd only known for 3 years, to gun violence. And King Von would carry that his whole life. He later rapped on Exposing Me, "Rest in peace to Silk from Otta Park, that was the older me. That was the older me." That line right there tells you everything. Von didn't see his father as a cautionary tale. He saw him as a blueprint. He saw himself as the next version of Silk. Same gang ties, same mentality, same presence. And when you grow up watching your father get glorified on the streets for the life he lived, even as that life killed him, that shapes you in ways that therapy can't undo. The apple fell directly under the tree, and O-Block was about to water it with blood. All right, Let's walk through every documented arrest and incarceration, because this isn't a man who had a couple of brushes with the law. This is a man who, from 16 to 26, was in a near constant cycle of the streets and the system. January 2011. Davon Bennett is 16 years old. He's arrested for armed robbery outside a restaurant on the south side. This is serious. Prosecutors are reportedly looking at a range of 21 to 45 years if he's tried as an adult. He's not. He gets juvenile detention instead. While inside, he earns his GED. The system gives him the tools to do something different. The streets are louder. After his release, he briefly attends South Suburban College in South Holland, Illinois. He drops out. The pull of O Block is stronger than any classroom. In 2012, according to the Chicago Sun-Times citing court records, Bennett is sentenced to boot camp over a theft charge, an armed robbery charge that had been dropped beforehand. This is his second formal run-in with the adult system. He's 18, he's now fully in the O-Block world, and by investigative accounts, allegedly already putting in serious work for the gang. November 21, 2012, Davon Bennett is arrested and booked into Cook County Jail for unlawful possession of a firearm. This is the adult system, no more juvenile leniency. And this is right in the thick of what investigators would later allege was his most violent year. The war between O-Block and STL/EBT is at a peak, and according to the documentary record, several alleged murders are clustered right around this same period, and this one often gets missed. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, in 2013, Bennett was sentenced to 3 years in prison for possession of a gun by a felon. He had a prior felony, which made carrying a firearm a more serious charge. 3 years, sentenced, gone. This also partially explains the documentary controversy. Some alleged killings placed in late 2012 into 2013 have been disputed because Vaughn was reportedly incarcerated during parts of that window. The Traplore Ross documentary was criticized specifically for placing a 2012 murder in December of that year, when evidence suggests Vaughn was locked up from November onward. The timeline matters. We keep that in here because the truth matters more than the narrative. This is the case that defined everything before the rap career, the one that sent him to Cook County Jail for over 3 years. We'll cover the full details of the murder in the next section. But the arrest on July 24, 2014, charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, is the moment the criminal justice system almost ended Davon Bennett's life as a free man. He sits in Cook County Jail from 2014 to December 2017, over 3 years. In that time, the older OGs in Cook County start calling him grandson, because they say he reminds them of David Barksdale, the founder of the Black Disciples, the same King David who was the original source of the gang's power. They look at this young man and see a reflection of their founder in the way he carries himself. He takes the name King Vaughn, the grandson, a rap name born inside a county jail cell. In December 2017, the case goes to trial. His co-defendant, Big Mike, who had given police a detailed statement about what happened at that party, changes his mind. He refuses to take the stand. Without testimony, the state can't make its case. King Vaughn is found not guilty on all counts. He walks out of Cook County a free man. Within weeks, Lil Durk signs him to Only the Family, OTF. The rap career begins. But as we'll see, the violence allegedly doesn't stop. Vaughn's star is rising fast. Crazy Story has gone viral. He's touring, he's doing features, he's getting mainstream attention. But on February 5th, 2019, Vaughn and Lil Durk are allegedly involved in robbing and shooting a man outside a popular Atlanta drive-in restaurant. 4 months later, in June 2019, both are arrested and hauled into a Fulton County courtroom for a probable cause hearing. The charges, being a felon in possession of a firearm and criminal intent to commit murder, among others. Vaughn posts $250,000 bail, Durk posts $300,000. Both walk. The case is still pending when Vaughn is killed in Atlanta 16 months later. Fan-compiled mugshot records, investigative accounts, and viral social media compilations suggest Vaughn had somewhere between 31 and 43 documented bookings by the time he died at 26. Firearms possession, robbery, assault, attempted murder, a repeat escalating pattern that is almost identical to the trajectory of his father's criminal career. This is the part that takes real research to do right. Every alleged killing has a context. A STL/EBT member killed by T-Roy and D. Rose from O-Block had already escalated things. Then in February 2012, a BD from O-Block named Sheroyd was killed by Boss Trell. The score keeps moving back and forth relentlessly. On April 28, 2012, a man known as King Doc, affiliated with STL/EBT, is killed. According to the documented war timeline from the O Block versus STL/EBT record, the alleged shooters are King Von and T-Roy, his closest street partner. This is allegedly Von's first murder connected to the gang war. He is 17 years old and the war is only just getting started. By October 2012, O Block has lost members. STL/EBT has lost members. Neither side is backing down. Every death demands a response. The war is turning into a scoreboard where young men are the points. Model McCambry, age 15, is a STL/EBT affiliated young man from the neighborhood. On October 13, 2012, he is shot and killed. The Chicago Police Department in official documents names King Von as the gunman in McCambry's murder. It's noted in the war timeline as Model STL/EBT killed by King Von plus T-Roy. The investigation produced a stunning piece of evidence. A witness, a friend of one of Von's baby mothers named Kima, identifies Bennett from a photo years later in 2018, recognizing him as the man who killed her relative Model. She tells Kima not to bring Von around her home. Kima honors the request, but she continues dating Von and has a child by him. And here's the part that defines Von's alleged relationship with violence during this era. On the day Model McCambry was killed, King Von went on Twitter and posted, "Who died?" They're openly taunting the murder on social media. This pattern, using Twitter to mock and reference alleged killings, would later become one of the primary investigative tools used against him. Model McCambry was 15 years old. Same war, same timeline. The STL/EBT faction is actively retaliating for their losses, and O Block is fighting back at every opportunity. P5, also known as Crack, is an opposing gang member caught in this cycle. According to incident reports obtained by investigators, Derek Johnson was shot 16 times, neck, chest, back, right hand, left jaw, 16 holes in his body. This is not a stray shot. This is someone who kept firing until there was no doubt about the outcome. King Von is connected to this shooting through social media activity, witness accounts, and documented patterns of O Block's ongoing war against their rivals. Among documentary makers and investigative analysts, P5 is considered one of the three most credible alleged connections alongside Model and K.I. Barnes. By November 2012, Boss Trell has already been on the O Block radar for a long time. He is directly implicated in the killing of O.D. Perry, the man O Block is literally named after. His death is not random. His death is O Block settling one of the most painful debts in their history. Rodney Stewart, known as Boss Trell, is found face down in an alley in the 2600 block of West 83rd Street, shot in the back of the head, execution style. Here's the part that makes this death feel like something out of a movie. Boss Trell reportedly had a bus ticket, a real bus ticket. 2 days before he was killed, he had purchased passage to Iowa, planning to leave Chicago, leave the gang life, start over somewhere nobody knew him. He was 2 days away from making it out. He never made it to the bus stop. According to street accounts confirmed by multiple sources, a woman was allegedly used to lure Boss Trell to the alley where he was ambushed. Street figure Jay Hood, who has given multiple accounts of the O Block/STL war, allegedly named King Von as the shooter, alongside T-Roy, describing the two as twin demons who operated together during this period. The war timeline records it as Boss Trell set up plus killed by J Money, O Block plus T-Roy, O Block plus set up female. Von would later reference this killing in his song GTA. Investigators have pointed to specific bars as coded references to what happened in that alley. This is the murder of the man who allegedly helped kill O.D. Perry. In Von's world, if the allegations are true, this was not a crime. This was justice. Same war, same relentless back and forth. Lil James, also known as Baby James, is an STL/EBT affiliate. His death is another entry in the ongoing score. According to investigative accounts, James Holman was shot and killed by Von, T-Roy, and two other unidentified men. After his death, Von allegedly went on social media and began listing the names of rival gang members who had been killed, keeping what investigators described as a publicly displayed kill count. The Trap Lore Ross documentary places 5 murders in Von's alleged count for 2012 alone. It is important to note, as discussed in the arrest section, that Von was arrested for firearm possession on November 21, 2012 and sentenced to boot camp, meaning some of the late 2012 allegations have been disputed on timeline grounds. We document what has been alleged and note those disputes because accuracy matters more than drama. 2014 is Von's most violent alleged year on record. The war between O Block and STL/EBT is still burning, but by this point, the conflict has an added layer. It's bleeding into the drill rap scene itself. The rivals aren't just gang members anymore. Some of them are rappers. The beef is playing out on social media and on tracks, with each side disrespecting the other's dead in music videos watched by hundreds of thousands of people. Mark Campbell, known as Lil Mark, is a drill rapper himself, affiliated with the STL/EBT faction. He's not just an enemy combatant, he's an enemy who has been using music as a weapon, trading dices, mocking O Block's fallen members on record. In 2014, Lil Mark is shot in the head and killed. The Chicago Police Department, in the same documents that named Von in the K.Y. Barnes case and the model McCambry case, officially lists Mark Campbell's murder as one connected to Bennett. The war timeline attributes it to King Von D. Rose, or T-Roy. He is one of 3 people the CPD has officially placed Von's name on in documented case files. K.I. Barnes and King Von have one of the most complex alleged killer-victim relationships in the history of Chicago's gang wars. She allegedly helped kill O.D. Perry, the man O Block is named after. She is the single most significant target Von could have in this war, and by 2014, she has allegedly committed multiple additional murders in the ongoing conflict, becoming the STL/EBT faction's most feared operative. But here's what adds a layer of strange irony to the whole thing. On social media, Von and K.I. had a public back and forth that was almost flirtatious alongside their mutual hatred. They clashed, they taunted, they disrespected each other's fallen members, and then occasionally, their exchange would take on an almost bizarrely warm tone. 2 deadly enemies playing out a complicated dynamic on Twitter for all of Chicago to watch. And then allegedly, it ended. April 11th, 2014. K.Y. Barnes is at 6451 South Eberhart Street in the Woodlawn neighborhood with 2 other people. It's mid-afternoon. A hooded figure in a gray hoodie and blue jeans approaches on foot. Without a word, the figure draws a firearm and opens fire, striking all 3 people. K.I. Barnes is hit 9 times, in the neck, in the chest, in the jaw. She crawls to a nearby porch and loses consciousness. She dies in the hospital 2 hours later. She is 17 years old. The CPD investigation, which would grow to over 300 pages of documents, interviews multiple witnesses. They report seeing a figure matching that description in the area. Multiple witnesses positively identify Davon Bennett as the shooter. The official document reads, "The investigation revealed that the victim was killed by Davon Bennett." And further, Bennett was positively identified as the offender in the incident. But the Cook County State's Attorney's Office reviews the file and finds it cannot meet the burden of proof required for conviction. Witness inconsistencies, a potential alibi window with his parole officer, no physical evidence that could survive cross-examination. No charges are filed. Von initially agrees to take a polygraph test. He then declines. He denies involvement. Here's where it gets even deeper. In the FBG Duck RICO federal trial, years later, KY's own brother testifies under oath. He tells federal prosecutors that on April 11, 2014, he was present. He says he watched King Von stand over his 17-year-old sister and fire multiple times into her body. He says Von also shot him during the same incident and that he survived only by running. Caden's own brother, in federal court, on the stand, naming King Von. The 2021 unsealing of the CPD documents, obtained by journalists via a Freedom of Information Act request, made all of this public. By then, both KY and King Von were dead, and the war timeline records the final note, KISTL/EBT killed by King Von plus Big A, O Block. This was the killing that intensified the O Block/STL war to its most vicious levels, because on that April day, someone allegedly walked up to the girl they believed killed O.D. Perry, the man O Block was built on, and ended her. The retaliation that followed from STL/EBT would be ferocious and relentless. Malcolm Stucky's story is different from every other name on this list, and that difference is what makes it the most heartbreaking. Malcolm Stucky was not in a gang. He was a 19-year-old college student, a college basketball player, a janitor at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, working an honest job, going to school, staying out of the street life. He was not a target. He was not an enemy combatant. He was someone's son who drove up to his friend's birthday party in a burgundy Pontiac Grand Prix on a sunny afternoon in Englewood and ended up in the crossfire of someone else's war. Here is what allegedly happened, in detail. The party is at 5722 South LaSalle Street, a two-story house in Englewood. The mother throwing the party for her son has gone to work earlier that day. She comes back around 5:15 p.m. to start cooking. King Von is already there, mingling with guests. Then Von spots two rival gang members inside the party, STL/EBT enemies. He's not happy. The host, Lamenda Jones, senses the tension. She tells Von directly, "Don't start no mess in my house." Von smiles. He says, "I'm not on that." He leaves. He doesn't let it go. Von leaves, links up with his associate Big Mike, also known as Michael Wade, and calls a partygoer on the phone. He tells them, "Tell the children to go inside." He comes back, armed with a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson, a gun that had been purchased 2 months earlier on March 29, 2014 in Natchez, Mississippi by a man named Jonathan Smalley, part of an illegal gun trafficking pipeline feeding Chicago from states with loose gun laws. Von and Big Mike park an alley away. They cut through the back. One of Von's rivals spots them coming and runs. Von chases him toward LaSalle Street, firing. "Why you running?" he allegedly shouts as he fires. Big Mike gets to the front of the house. Malcolm Stucky, who had just pulled up in his Grand Prix, has stepped onto the sidewalk to smoke a cigar before going in to eat. He is not the target. He is not the enemy. He is just there. He is face down on the grass between the sidewalk and the street, bleeding out by the time anyone can process what happened. Malcolm Stucky is shot in the head. He is declared dead at the scene at 6:09 p.m. He died in his work uniform, still wearing it from his shift at the museum. Big Mike is arrested. He gives police a detailed statement. He names Von. The gun is recovered. It's the same weapon later linked to another Chicago shooting just days later. Same gun, multiple crimes, tracing back to Natchez, Mississippi. July 24, 2014, Von is arrested and charged. He sits in Cook County Jail for 3 years and 4 months. December 2017, trial. Big Mike refuses to testify. Other witnesses don't show. The jury cannot convict on the evidence that remains. King Von is found not guilty. He walks out of Cook County. Malcolm Stucky does not walk anywhere. He's been dead for 3 years. By 2018, the war has expanded. T-Roy, Von's closest alleged partner in crime, was killed on Valentine's Day 2017, shot by TB and Can't Get Right from the Taekwon World/STL faction. T-Roy's death devastates O'Block. He was Von's twin in the streets, his most trusted partner, and his killers are still breathing. T-Roy's death creates a new level of personal motive on Von's part. This is no longer just gang war. This is personal. DeAndre Wallace, known as Can't Get Right or Man, is connected to the faction that killed T-Roy. In 2018, he is shot and killed. According to the war timeline and investigative documentation, Can't Get Right, STL/EBT/Jarrah City plus civilian killed by Munaduke plus Muop, O-Block/GBG. Von is alleged to be connected to this killing, either as a direct participant or as an orchestrator of the response to T-Roy's murder. By 2018, Von is in the rap game and publicly a star, but the streets have not let him go. In any ongoing gun war, there are collateral casualties. Shots fired at targets hit bystanders. People get caught in the wrong alley at the wrong time. Troy Hampton's alleged death is categorized differently from the others. Not a targeted killing, but an accidental death allegedly resulting from gunfire connected to Von during a targeted shooting. The specific incident and exact date remain the subject of debate in the investigative record. His name appears in lists of alleged casualties connected to Von, but with the least supporting documentation of any name on this list. We include it for completeness, with that caveat stated plainly. FBG Duck, Carlton Weekly, is the most prominent rapper affiliated with the Tookaville/STL/EBT faction. He has been using music as a weapon for years. In July 2020, just weeks before his death, he releases a song called Dead B.O., in which he names and disrespects 9 deceased O-Block members by name. He raps about O.D. Perry. He taunts Von directly. The Chicago Sun-Times FBI affidavit documents Von's response. The day after Duck's diss track drops, Von releases his own shot back, rapping about "Tuka in my lungs, I say that every time cause he got smoked." He tells Duck in coded language, "O-Block OTF 300 be just check the stats, said that he be throwing shots, I bet he catch them back." 2 weeks later, a confidential informant in Chicago police custody tells detectives and FBI agents that someone affiliated with the Black Disciples, someone who had been buying custom-made O-Block necklaces for members of the gang, had placed a $50,000 bounty on Carlton Weekly's head, later raised to $100,000. The FBI affidavit, filed in March 2021, notes that King Von had appeared in a YouTube video posted days after Duck's diss track, a video in which Von is seen distributing custom O-Block pendants to his associates. The informant's description of the bounty placer, someone who bought necklaces for O-Block members, matched Von's documented behavior exactly. August 4th, 2020. FBG Duck is shopping on Oak Street in Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood, one of the city's most upscale areas. O-Block members are monitoring his location. A Ford Fusion and a Chrysler 300 tear out of Parkway Gardens 20 minutes before the shooting. Duck is on the phone with someone who has spotted him according to surveillance footage. He walks into a Montclair store. He is followed. Outside, gunmen open fire. FBG Duck is hit multiple times and dies. 6 O-Block members are arrested, tried, and convicted, including Charles C. Murda Liggins, Kenneth Robertson, Christopher Thomas, Marcus Smart, Tacarlos Offord, and Ralph Turpin, found guilty of murder in aid of racketeering in January 2024. The alleged orchestrator? FBI documents declassified in January 2023 named King Von as the person who placed the bounty. He had been dead for over 2 years by the time those documents were released. In October 2024, Von's estate, Lil Durk, and OTF Records are all named in a wrongful death civil lawsuit by FBG Duck's family, claiming they profited off of Weekly's death through negligence and misconduct. The 6 men who pulled the triggers went to prison. The man allegedly responsible for the order is in the ground in Chicago. November 6, 2020, Atlanta, Georgia, 2:15 in the morning, King Von and his crew leave the Opium nightclub and head to the Monaco Hookah Lounge at 255 Trinity Avenue in downtown Atlanta. It's a Friday. The city is alive. Also at the Hookah Lounge that night, the crew of Quando Rondo, a rapper from Savannah, Georgia with a well-known and documented beef with Von going back years. Their crews are on opposite sides of a divide that has played out publicly on social media, in interviews, and in music. At around 3:20 a.m., an argument breaks out outside the lounge between the two groups. It escalates fast. An off-duty Atlanta police officer and an on-duty officer both respond and draw their weapons. Both fire, attempting to break up the shootout. By the time it's over, 2 people are dead, 4 are wounded. King Von is struck by gunfire. He is transported to a hospital in critical condition. At approximately 4:30 a.m. on November 6, 2020, Davon Daquan Bennett is pronounced dead. He is 26 years old. The man arrested for his murder, Timothy Leaks, age 22, known as Lul Tim, a Quando Rondo associate. He is charged with felony murder, posts $100,000 bond, and is released in March 2021. In 2023, the murder charge against Leaks is dismissed. The murder of King Von remains officially unsolved. The retaliation comes in waves. In August 2022, O-Block members allegedly traveled to Los Angeles and opened fire on a black Cadillac Escalade at a gas station, allegedly targeting Quando Rondo. Rondo survives. His cousin, Savyaya Lulpab Robinson, 24, is killed. In October 2024, Lil Durk, Von's best friend and label boss, is arrested at Miami International Airport on federal murder-for-hire charges. The FBI alleges he offered money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF to anyone who helped kill Quando Rondo. 5 OTF members are already convicted of the Los Angeles gas station murder. Durk pleads not guilty. The case continues. A night outside a hookah lounge in Atlanta, still sending shockwaves through the rap world in 2024 and beyond. So, what do you do with all of this? Here's what the record shows clearly. King Von was never convicted of a single murder. In the eyes of the law and the only institution with the authority to render that verdict, Davon Bennett is innocent of all of it. That matters. The presumption of innocence matters, even posthumously. But the truth doesn't always fit in a courtroom. The Chicago Police Department, in official documents, named this man as the alleged shooter in the murders of model McCambry, Mark Campbell, and Gakira K.I. Barnes. The FBI's own declassified files allege he placed a 6-figure bounty on a rival rapper's head. Federal witnesses, including KY's own brother, testified under oath about what they say they witnessed. A federal jury convicted 6 men for a murder Von allegedly ordered. And then there's Von himself, through his music, through his interviews, through his own Twitter. where he allegedly taunted murders in real time, kept public kill counts in coded language, and referenced the deaths of rivals in ways that investigators spent years decoding. King Von never really denied who he was. He said Crazy Story was fiction, but he lived every version of that story for real. He was the son of Silk from Ada Park, a black disciples drug lord who died by a sniper's bullet when Von was 11. He was raised on O Block, a block named after a fallen gangster, surrounded by an unending war with rivals who literally lived one block away. He was incarcerated by 16. He spent over 3 years in Cook County Jail waiting for a murder trial. He beat the case, he became a rapper, and he allegedly never stopped. Von died at 26. Silk died in his early 30s. Both black disciples, both allegedly deeply embedded in the Southside's gang world, both killed by gunfire. Father and son, same gang, same streets, same ending. That pattern, what sociologists would call intergenerational gang involvement, is one of the most devastating things about Chicago's crisis. When the role model in your home is himself a gangster, when the block you're raised on is named after a murder victim, when the only men who command respect in your world are the ones willing to put in work, the script gets written before you're old enough to read it. King Von read the script he was handed, and he allegedly delivered every line. 3 children, his son whose face appears on the cover of his posthumous album Grandson, royalties and music masters he was smart enough to never sell, meaning his children will receive income from his catalog for their entire lives, a musical legacy that is objectively historic. Welcome to O Block debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200 and went platinum. Took Her to the O went triple platinum. Crazy Story went triple platinum. He is one of the most streamed deceased rappers in the world, years after his death. And a mural, 8 feet tall, on Martin Luther King Drive in Parkway Gardens, O Block, his face looking out over the same block that made him, allegedly destroyed others through him, and eventually outlived him. King Von was a generational talent. He was funny, thoughtful, loyal to his people, and deeply loved by his family. He was also allegedly a man who participated in a decade-long war that left multiple people dead. Some of them enemies, some of them bystanders, some of them teenagers with bus tickets to somewhere better. Both things are true. Both things matter. The story of Davon Bennett is the story of what happens when a city fails a generation so completely that its most talented members end up expressing their genius inside a machine of violence and become legends because of it instead of in spite of it. We can celebrate the music. We should tell the truth about the cost. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop in the comments what part of this hit you hardest. Was it the father's story? The war timeline? The Malcolm Stucky detail about the bus ticket Boss Trell never got to use? The FBI files on FBG Duck? Let us know. I'll see you in the next one. Long live the truth. Long live Von. Rest in peace to all involved.